Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There's a reason this message crossed your path, not by coincidence, but by orchestration. Something in your spirit has been whispering for direction, and today something finally answers back. You're not lost. In fact, you've become too strong, too finely attuned to stay lost for long. You're in a divine holding pattern, not stuck, suspended, held between the last thing that made sense and the next thing that will rewrite everything. And I know that space can feel unbearable, like trying to breathe underwater with no idea how close you are to the surface. But this pause you're in, it's not a glitch in the matrix. It's a divine lock, waiting not for the right moment, but for the real you to step forward before it clicks open. This next chapter doesn't want a version of you who's still shrinking to fit into places that were never built to hold you. It doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to presence. That's why nothing is working the way it used to. The old panic button doesn't trigger the old results. The distractions that used to numb you now just irritate your soul. Even the soothing rituals you leaned on before might feel like empty motions because you're not who you used to be. And this moment isn't about what comes next. It's about whether you can stand inside the unknown without betraying yourself to get out of it. Maybe that sounds poetic, but it's real. Because let's be honest, you've held it together through nights when you had no one to call. You've survived seasons of silence so loud they rattled your bones. You've bent so far to accommodate the world's expectations that even your own reflection started to look unfamiliar. And now you're here, not broken, not behind, but cracked open and quietly rebuilding. That ache in your chest, the one whispering, "What am I missing?" It's not here to shame you. It's here to peel back the noise. Because when the outside world stops giving you direction, you finally have the chance to hear the internal one that never stops speaking. This part of your journey isn't asking for action, it's asking for intimacy with yourself. And that frantic part of you, the one that's desperate to choose, to move, to just decide something already, that's not your guidance. That's a reflex. That's the version of you that had to run just to feel safe. The one who learned to perform clarity so others wouldn't panic around your confusion. But now your body knows better. You've probably felt it. The cravings have changed. The relationships that once felt warm now feel weighty. Even your favorite meals might feel off, like your body is rejecting anything that doesn't match the future it's preparing to carry. This isn't coincidence. Your system is shedding noise. You are slowly becoming unavailable to chaos. And clarity, contrary to what we were taught, doesn't always come from research or logic. Sometimes it arrives when we finally sit still long enough for the dust to settle, like watching muddy water go clear once you stop stirring it. That's what this moment is. It's a sacred settling, a season of restoration disguised as restlessness. But let me be clear, this isn't a timeout. It's an initiation, the kind of spiritual threshold that separates the old way of life from the new one you've quietly been preparing for. Not with vision boards or resolutions, but with the quiet decisions you made in the dark when no one was watching. You may not realize it yet, but this exact season, the one that feels like a dead end, is softening your edges for what's about to find you. Because what's coming won't require performance. It will require presence. You're not in limbo. You're not being punished. You're being aligned. This isn't the universe stalling. It's God customizing the moment so precisely that when it finally arrives, it will feel inevitable. So don't mistake stillness for absence. Don't rush to label this quiet as failure. This is the breath before the breakthrough. And when the path reappears, because it won't ask if you're ready. It will ask if you remember who you are. Because when the moment comes, and it won't tap softly. It will arrive like a knock you somehow expected, but still weren't ready to open the door for. One day, without warning, you'll get the email. You'll hear the message. The opportunity will appear. A sentence from someone's mouth will rearrange your entire direction. And when it happens, it won't wait for your permission. It will demand your participation, not the curated version of you, but the one that's raw, honest, and whole. That's why this pause matters. That's why the silence has been stretching longer than you'd like. Not being punished, you're being prepared. prepared to stop reacting out of fear, prepared to recognize peace not as a reward, but as a compass, to know yourself so well that when the world hands you options, you don't ask, which one looks better? You ask, which one sounds like me? This silence is not rejection, it's refinement. The stripping away of the noise, the masks, the outdated beliefs you didn't even know you were still carrying. Because you can't carry the noise of your past into a future this precise. That's why it's been hard to tolerate certain environments lately. Why your body feels heavier in some places and lighter in others. It's not random. It's your sensitivity waking up. You're being shown the difference between energy that expands you and energy that contracts you. This isn't fragility. This is energetic intelligence. And it's your greatest strength now. And intelligence in this case means knowing when to stop forcing something just because you once wanted it. If your nervous system has been louder than usual, tight chest, sleepless nights, strange dreams, it's not anxiety without cause. It's your internal compass recalibrating. Your body is no longer letting you betray your truth without consequence. You used to run on survival, on compliance, on being digestible to others, but that no longer works. And the discomfort you're feeling now, it's your system rejecting every version of you that made peace with being half seen. So if you're wondering why the clarity hasn't landed yet, maybe it's because clarity is no longer external. It's not a voice in the clouds. It's the way your body exhales when something is right. It's the way your spirit tightens when something's not. And when the decision comes, and yes, there will be a decision, you won't choose based on fear. You'll choose based on resonance. Resonance is quiet but unmistakable. It doesn't raise its voice. It waits for you to tune in, which is exactly what this stillness is doing, tuning you. So when you're finally handed the next chapter, you don't hesitate. You don't fumble. You choose, not because it's the logical choice, but because something in you says, this is it. This is mine. And that's the thing. This isn't about making the right decision. It's about becoming the kind of person who can't be talked out of what they know. You've already done the healing. You've already done the searching. You're not behind. You're just being asked to sit in the stillness long enough to remember what you asked for. You wanted alignment. You wanted truth. You wanted a life that felt like it was built for your soul, not just your resume. And now you're here, hovering at the edge of it. The sacred interval between inhale and exhale. The moment before the lights come on. What you're asking for is already being arranged, but it's not going to arrive through noise. It's going to arrive through stillness. So take this pause seriously. It's not an accident, it's an anointing. This is the moment you choose not to shrink while you wait. This is the moment you choose not to distract your way through discomfort. The moment you decide that even in the silence, you are worthy of what's next. And when it comes, and you'll know it when it does, it won't be a slow fade. It will move fast. It will come with acceleration. It will feel like the ground rising to meet your feet as you walk forward. And you will walk forward, not because someone told you to, not because the signs were loud, but because you finally heard the only confirmation that ever mattered, your own yes. So breathe deep. The pause is almost over. And when life resumes, you won't be the same person who entered this silence. You'll be the one who finally knew how to listen. And that changes everything. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.